In the air, shallow left. Jimmy DeAnda coming in. Makes the catch, tagging. Antonero's trying to score. Throw to the plate. And it gets through the catcher, Mason Strong, who gets buried by Antonero's.
Delicious, resulting in an out and an ejection of number 77.
So
the runner at first base returns to first base.
It was a wild day on the first day of NCAA baseball regionals yesterday. There were some absolute shockers, one of which involved a super controversial moment. You saw it in the intro. We're going to break that down. Ultimately, the Utah Valley Wolverines ended up beating the Oregon Ducks 6-5 in the Eugene Regional. They took a 4-0 lead early in this one in the third inning, had a huge rally. Oregon fought back with 3 runs, but then the Wolverines extended their lead on a hit by Jimmy DeAnda, who went 2 for 4 with 3 RBIs. They had a 6-4 lead in the 8th. Antonero's had walked, advanced to third on a single, and then there was a fly ball here with Ryan Cooney at the plate, and we saw what happened. So there's the fly ball right there. Not too deep, but deep enough. You're going to try to score here. Makes the catch. Here comes the run. Here's the throw. And when you watch it at full speed, it kind of looks like he barrels him over. Then he goes and touches home plate. Called safe. The call on the field was safe. This obviously got overturned. Now, they took forever. It took like 10 minutes to finally come up with a decision. I don't know what took so long. I think they're so scared of saying it's okay to run a guy over. They were so scared of that they didn't really worry about the actual rule. Or at least they decided to overlook this because a defensive player cannot block a base without clear possession of the ball. Penalty for obstruction results in immediate dead ball, and the runner is awarded 1 base. So if the catcher Mason Strong, who's an absolute beast, by the way, and I talked about him yesterday when I previewed the entire regionals, Mason Strong was amazing in the WAC tournament, but here he's on defense. He's the catcher in this situation, and there you can see where he's standing. We're going to get a little bit of a better angle, but he's clearly in front of home plate. That's going to make it tough for the runner to have a path to score, and he's obstructing the plate. You can see right there. Now, he doesn't run. He doesn't barrel him over with everything he's got. It's kind of a half slide. He's kind of sliding a little late. Normally you'd slide sooner than that. He's sliding a little late. He's coming into him, and you could kind of tell he's not trying to hurt him. He's not trying to do anything malicious here, I don't think. He kind of hits his knees. He kind of tries to stop himself. And okay, now here's another look. Yeah, I mean, it's not like he's just trying to crush the guy or hurt the guy. But it was a little bit of an awkward slide. But here's the key angle right here. Look at Mason Strong. I mean, he's clearly in front. He needs to stand behind the plate to take that ball, to give, or at least back a little bit so that the runner, he doesn't have to stand all the way behind, but has to give the runner a path, cannot obstruct the plate. And clearly obstructing right here, and he makes the play, or actually doesn't even make the play. And he also, if you have the ball, then that's one thing. But if you don't have the ball securely, which he never did, you cannot block the plate. And that's what he was doing. Never had the ball, didn't even catch the ball. Maybe he was planning to catch the ball and thinking that he would have it, but never did. Ball skips off his glove. Here's the collision. Pretty light collision, but a collision. And the Oregon player scores, rolls over, touches home plate, and that's what happened there. Obviously, everyone freaks out. Manager absolutely loses it when after, 10 minutes, you could see Utah Valley head coach is obviously happy, and Oregon absolutely furious. Everybody's pissed off, not understanding. So obviously they got something to be mad about. I'm not going to deny that. But you are Oregon, and you're down 6-4 to Utah Valley in the 8th inning. Had a chance to catch up in the 9th. They did score 1 run and ended up losing 6-5. So it's definitely understandable. People are pissed. Horse shit call, in my opinion, just potentially changed Oregon's season. Obviously, Utah Valley fans are happy. What an absolute joke. Catcher's blocking the plate without the ball. No reason for any call. If a call is to be made, it would be obstruction by the catcher. Certainly no malicious contact. The guy slid straight in. Soft as Charmin call. Start publicly shaming these umpires. I think this one went to the replay review people, and they are so worried about allowing any kind of even remotely dangerous collisions that they just were not going to rule in Oregon's favor, because there was a little tiny little bit of a collision there, but it was, as Drew Shirley Law says, absolute travesty, ejected for playing baseball. The catcher was blocking the plate. What was he supposed to do? He could have slid a little earlier, but then he wouldn't have touched home plate. He's got to try to score, and he can't score. The plate was completely blocked. He slid in about as politely as I think he could. So I totally agree this was not a good call. And I understand Oregon fans being pissed. If I was an Oregon fan, I would be pissed as well. This guy here apparently defending the call and saying it's not that hard to... come on, you're trying to score. You're coming straight to home plate. The ball's coming in. You're not going to go this little dance and try to run out of the baseline, run around and try to somehow slip in, especially because he doesn't know that the catcher is going to miss that ball. As far as he knows, the catcher is going to catch that ball and would tag him out easily if he took this weird route right here. So, yeah, remember, he didn't know the catcher was going to miss the ball. So he had to try to score and try to get to home plate as soon as possible, any way possible. So certainly this was not, I think, a good call. This was really controversial for obvious reasons.
The 1-2, swinging it.
But it turned out that Oregon State was not able to come back. They had a chance. They lose 6-5. I mean, they had a chance against a Utah Valley relief pitcher. And no, Utah Valley's good. And Anson Arrows got ejected, not from just that game, but the next game, today's game as well. Their catcher. So they're going to lose this player, a pretty good player. Hit 281 on the season. Got a little bit of power. So he hit 17 home runs. Quite a bit of power, actually. So Anson Arrows is out for today's game. What a rough call for Oregon. And I'm not saying it's not. I'm just saying you can't let it come down to one bad call. If you're Oregon, you got to play better than that, I think. And this is going to be a fun regional right here. The rest of it, there was a lot of other upsets. Running through the scores, Georgia absolutely throttled Binghamton. West Virginia won. North Carolina 4-0 over Holy Cross. So a lot as expected. Texas took care of Houston Christian. I watched that game. Columbia takes out Southern Miss. That was a little bit of a surprise. 11-4. Columbia wins it, representing the Ivy League right there. And I did see this game here. I watched this one. DBU did end up beating Rhode Island, but that was a tight game. Rhode Island was in that game. That game ended like early in the morning. That game was, I don't know what happened. I think it got delayed or something, but I was looking for games like at 1 in the morning. I was like, what? There's still a game going? Rhode Island and DBU, that one was fun. Murray State took out Ole Miss 9-6. So a fun start to the tournament, or to the regionals for sure. And more games today. OU also beat Nebraska 7-4. So a lot of games. UCLA unfortunately destroyed Fresno State. I like Fresno State, so that's why I say unfortunately. But 19-4 there. Georgia Tech 9-2 over Western Kentucky. So some surprises, some expected results. But more games coming up today. You guys have a great day. Let me know what you think of this call. How wrong did they get it? I mean, I don't see how you can say that was a proper call and how it took 10 minutes. What's up with that? I hate when things go to review. They take forever and a day, then they get it completely wrong. It was right on the field. You're supposed to have irrefutable evidence to overturn a call. And not only did not have irrefutable evidence, it was right on the field. Why not just say on the field the call stands? I mean, if you're really scared, just say on the field. But they just hate collisions and things like that. So they weren't going to let that stand, and it's unfortunate because clearly Mason Strong was blocking the plate right there. But again, if you're Oregon, I think you got to win. I think you got to play better than that and not even allow a bad call to ruin the game. Even if they got it right, there's no telling that Oregon was going to win. You can't guarantee Oregon was going to win that game anyway. Let me know what you guys think. Have a great day. Talk to you later.